People ask me all the time what I mix Total ISO in. Honestly, I mix it with everything. Water, egg whites,
What the f, Jay?
Capone, Daisy.
Jay, seriously? Don't.
All right, Biggie, we're back in the Mecca, and we have a brand new show and brand new Bebop Roser, and we have some new blood today.
Yeah, well, we got both these guys today training with me, so I had my work cut out for me. But today, we focus mostly on Stan on camera, and we're doing some back training, some mid-back, upper back training, and some lat training as well. We also threw in a little bit of bonus footage at the end there, doing little traps and rear delts. And just scan through his paces and try to build a bigger back, make him a bigger bodybuilder.
So we got Silvio, prepping for 2020, and we thought by bringing other pros, sort of like a sparring partner, to push him leading up to the season might be a good thing, and also keeps it interesting to have other pros with us. So how was that to train with Stan, Silvio, today?
As we would say, Stan is one of the guys that have been pulling heavy weights, and then we've been training very hard also. I like a guy that is consistent. We've been seeing it every day here, so I admire his work. So working with him today is really...
He trains with royalty a lot of times, right?
That's right.
So it's nice to have someone like him.
It's nice to have him around, and then he's been pushing me just like how pushing him is a partner.
That's awesome.
But we look forward to also working together and then doing more stuff. And then pulling the real weight, training the best weight.
Awesome. Stan, thanks for coming on the show today, man. I know you train a lot with Sean, so we appreciate you coming on the show. And you've trained with us before, but it's always nice to have you back.
I mean, like I was telling earlier, Eric knows already, but when I started bodybuilding, I was 15 years ago, but I think after 2-3 years, so 12 years ago, I was doing his program back in the day, PRS, Power, Rep Range, Shock.
Yeah.
I used that for at least a good year. I really enjoyed all the variations, and always play with different tempos, different type of, trying to recruit different fibers, and it's the name of the game, so you want to engage as much muscle fiber as you can, break them down, make them bigger, and improve, so that was fun,
Well, we're glad to have you with us. Great to have these guys on the show, Eric. All right. Thanks so much, guys.
Okay, guys, here's the first exercise we're doing with Stan today. We're doing a wide grip lat pull down, but we're facing away from the weight stack, and as you can see, he's got his body angled back, chest is still up high like it's gotta be, and he's pulling down in a line right down under the chin. What we're trying to do here is get the upper back muscles, rear delts, mid traps, rhomboids. And at the bottom of each rep, he's holding that contracted position for a full 4 seconds. Very, very tough to do it this way, but incredible work for the upper back. I'm gonna give him a spot. Okay guys, the second exercise we're doing is continuing to focus on that mid back. So this movement here, you do with 2 upper pulleys, and what you're really looking to do here is keep the chest up high, arch the lower back, and draw the elbows down and back as if you were trying to touch them behind your back, which kind of mimics the first position in a back double bicep shot when you bring your arms down. Again, he's holding the contraction at the bottom to really squeeze those inner back muscles. He's holding it for about 4 seconds. As you can see, he's really focusing on slowly bringing it, locking it in and squeezing tight, squeezing those shoulder blades together. He's going totally to failure until he can't really even hold that for 4 seconds anymore. I'm gonna check out his form now. Okay, so the final movement we're doing here for the upper back is a row machine, chest supported, hands out wide. His feet are actually on the floor because we're looking to lower his body down a little bit so that when he pulls up, his elbows, as you can see, are in line with his upper body. This is the way we hit the traps, the mid traps, the rhomboids, and the rear delts, the whole upper back complex. Again, as with the first two movements, he's holding the top position and hyper-contracting for 4 seconds at the top. What I mean by hyper-contracting is he is basically not only holding the weight, but he's in his mind literally squeezing the upper back muscles. He's keeping the arms out of it, squeezing back with the elbows, and holding it at the top to build that upper back mass. I'm gonna give him a spot now.
So different to train this way. What's different style? Probably amazing.
Okay guys, so what we're doing now is we're switching from upper back work to pure lat work now, looking for more width in the belly of the lats. What Stan is doing here is a Merlin incline pull down. So we have an incline bench set to about 60 degrees or so. It's facing away from the weight stack. So what we're doing is he's actually stretching back up behind him, almost like the beginning of a pullover movement. And then he's muscling down and pulling the handles down into the lower portion of the chest. This works the belly of the lats. Now we're working the stretch on these movements. We're emphasizing the stretch. So he's holding the stretch for a full 4 seconds. And what he's doing is he's letting the shoulders release out of the joint just a little bit. And this puts a full stretch on the lats. And then using just power of the lats, he's muscling down into the lower chest. This is very, very effective for building wide lats. Let me see if he needs a spot. Okay, so now we're doing a basic seated cable row. I just switched the hand a little bit for still a grip with the palms facing and a close grip, but a little bit wider than the first grip that we used, just to affect different muscle fibers. So again, what we're doing, as you can see, is he's emphasizing the stretch. He's holding that stretch for 4 full seconds, and then he's muscling the weight low into the abdominal area, which activates mostly lats more than anything else. And just to remind you guys, when you're stretching a muscle under tension like this is a very, very big anabolic activator. In other words, it signals the muscle to grow because it causes a lot of fiber damage. And as you can see, when he comes to the top, he's not going backwards. In other words, his lower body, his upper body is staying parallel, or actually perpendicular to the floor. It's not going further back like a lot of people do using momentum. He's using just the lats to bring it back. Let me give him a quick spot here. Okay, so this is the final movement we're doing today, working the lats. We're doing a Merlin incline one-arm row. And what he's doing, he's working the right arm here. So what I have him doing is actually moving his body on the bench, so more of the left side of the body, the mid body, is on the bench rather than the right side, so he has more range of motion. His legs are back behind him. You can't see it, but he's actually grabbing the dumbbell towards the top so that the dumbbell will actually tip back a little bit, because we want to angle back towards the hip to work more of the lat. If he went straight up and down, it'd be working the rear delts more so than the lats. And the goal is the lats right here. We're not holding any portion of the rep, we're just moving them, muscling it real slow. As you can see, he's only using a 70-pound dumbbell, but if you do it like this, that 70 feels like a 140 when you're doing regular one-arm rows. Great isolation for the lats. And if you want to get a wide back, I suggest you give this a try. You'll really feel it better than a regular one-arm row.
Okay guys, so some bonus footage for you. Stan decided to stick with us with doing some traps and rear delts. This is one of my favorite movements for the traps and rear delts. I've shown this before. It's sort of like a hybrid between an upright row and a shrug on a shrug machine. So what he's doing is leading his body forward, and he's just lifting up the elbows a little bit. That's pretty much where the upright row comes in. And then he's shrugging as he gets to the top as well. So this is working the mid traps and a little bit of the upper traps, especially where they tie into the mid traps. It's a short movement. You really want to focus on the squeeze at the top and just lift up those elbows. It's not like a regular shrug, as you can see, straight up and down. Give it a shot for bigger traps.
Okay guys, we're just finishing off with a little bit of rear delts. I like to do a little traps and rear delts with back. So Stan joined us for this. We're doing a single arm rear delt fly machine. And as you can see, look at the way his body is positioned in the machine. He's actually got his entire body sitting across the machine on one side, on the same side of the working arm. This just helps you to get a better contraction, a better range of motion for the rear delt. He has the seat set in a position to make sure that his arm is exactly parallel to the ground, which is going to work the rear delts more so than the upper traps if he was sitting a little bit lower. He's using a very, very controlled motion. His palm is facing the floor. You could try different grips to see what feels good for you. He's using the palm facing the floor, and he's really muscling the weight back. He's not throwing it back. He's using just the rear delt, which is a very weak muscle, to just bring the bar back without swinging, without using any momentum. And this is a really great way to do this exercise and build that 3D effect in the upper back. Let me see if I can give him a little spot.
Biggie, you have any good questions?
Yeah, you know, this question is kind of a broad question, but, you know, maybe a lot of people have problems with this. Somebody asked me, do I have any input or words of motivation for someone struggling to find the fire again to get back in the gym on a regular basis? And when I actually answered this question for him on my page, but I wanted to address it here as well. First of all, I want everybody to know out there that all of us, everywhere from the regular person up to professional bodybuilders, all go through lags in their training. And everybody gets burnt out. Everybody gets periods of time where getting to the gym is a struggle, eating is a struggle, and where you kind of just don't have, like what you said, that fire to be in the gym. So first of all, that's a natural thing, and I think it's okay, especially if you've been, if you've only been training for 2 weeks and then you lose the fire, there's a problem. But if you've been doing it for many years, then it happens to everybody. Life gets in the way, your moods can change, there could be certain chemical imbalances, there could be anything happening in your life. That could be, work could be tough, you could have personal relationship problems, anything can get in the way and make getting to the gym to push yourself hard. If you get into that situation, first of all, try not to struggle with it too much. Kind of let it be for a little while. Maybe take the time to relax, take the time to allow yourself away from the gym, take care of other things, and get that fire back, because sometimes just having some time off will allow that fire to come back naturally. Also, I suggest that if it's taking too long, months are going by and you don't have that fire back, you may have to force yourself back to the gym. Now, if you have to do this, whether you have to force yourself back or whether you go back on your own and you're ready to go back, I suggest not going back full force. You know, if you're used to training 5 or 6 days a week, doing cardio every day, doing crazy long workouts, don't go right back to that, because probably you'll burn out again really, really quickly. Go back on a much more abbreviated routine, so maybe 3 or 4 days a week. Commit to that first. Maybe keep the cardio sessions shorter, keep the workouts a little shorter, slowly get back into the diet, but still have those days off in between to relax. Then, after a few weeks, then maybe add an extra day in, and then keep progressing like this as time goes by. And then eventually you'll work your way back up to your regular program. This way, I think it's a much more effective way of getting back into it. You force yourself back too fast and too hard, you'll burn out again very, very quickly. So, again, basically allow yourself to have these periods of time. It happens. But when you go back to the gym, go back on an abbreviated program, like I said, work your way back into it slowly, and then before you know it, you'll have the fire back, and once you start seeing results again, that'll help to give you more fire to keep going. So it's a gradual process, and I wish you the best of luck. To the guy who asked me this question, like I said, get back in slowly and you'll get back there.
Awesome.